Over at This Amazing Life, and today we're going to continue on with my curriculum choices for this year for my daughter. Like I said previously, my daughter is going to be 6 in November, so technically by public school standards this is really officially her kindergarten year, but this past year we did My Father's World Kindergarten, and so we're going to kind of do some choices that are kindergarten, some first grade level. She went to a co-op and went into the kindergarten class and did fine. And so for her co-op we're doing next year, she's actually going into the lower elementary grade. So we're going to just kind of see how we do, and if we get to the point to where we need to slow down and, you know, she's hit a wall, then, you know, that's the joy of homeschool. We have an opportunity to do that. So today we're going to talk about our reading, spelling, writing, grammar curriculums today. I have to make a confession. I'm kind of a curriculum hoarder, and I like a lot of different curriculums, and so I kind of choose what I think will be best, but I'm not afraid to say, let's bring a little bit of this in, especially this last year for math. We did a combination of 2 curriculums, and I think it worked out well, and right now in our reading we're kind of doing that too. So she's been doing My Father's World Kindergarten, which has phonics built in. We've supplemented, and so we were doing the All About Reading pre-reading before, which I talked about what we're doing for my son this year, and so we kind of were trying to figure out what would work for her, and I've been researching other curriculums too, and I heard about a curriculum called Logic of English. It's very similar to All About Reading. It's just a little bit different. It's all inclusive. They have handwriting in it, spelling, and the phonics all in one curriculum, all in one set. And so last summer when I was really researching and trying to decide, I was kind of praying about it, that God would just show us what he would want Amelia to learn, because, you know, he knows her the best. And so I just kind of had, you know, a reaction or a feeling that we should try Logic of English. So I'll show you that first. So right now we've been working through Logic of English Foundations. They have foundations and essentials. In the foundations there are 4 levels. So right now we have, this is level A. We call it our dragon school because there's a dragon on it. To do this program they have sets that you do, and I kind of just picked and choose because of what I wanted to buy at that point. Now they do, they say in a year you should complete an A and a B, 2 sets in a year. There are 30 lessons in each level, and they're from ages, it says on here, for ages 4 to 7. So we are on lesson, let me see if I can figure out from her workbook. We finished lesson 31, and there's 40 lessons. I apologize, there's 40 lessons, and so we're in lesson 31. And so and it goes through at the very beginning. It starts out with learning sound versus unsound things, what makes a sound, and then it goes through, starts then with the phonograms a few lessons later. And so what makes Logic of English unique is that it teaches the vowel sounds, it teaches them all together. Let me see if I can find. So let's see. So for, like, you have these phonogram flashcards, which we use for games and stuff. And it shows there's 4 sounds of the letter U. And now in some curriculums, they're going to just teach the first sounds, like U says or U says U, or it says oo, or It's a little nuances. And I have an app too, which I've downloaded, which helps, because sometimes I don't think when I learned to read, I you have 4 sounds. Or like A. A says A, and ah. So she'll go through, what are the sounds of A? A, ah. Which helps with reading, so when they get to those words that are sounding out a little differently, she doesn't always think that A says A. So you have the phonograms. I actually bought these used from a seller on Facebook, cards. And so you get, with the curriculum, you need the teacher's guide, you need the workbook. We bought also, I don't think it's not necessary, but it's called the Doodling Dragons, the ABC book of sounds. So each letter, they give you words that have the different sounds of A, like apples and ants, snakes, 8 grapes. So you can hear all the different sounds of A in there. It's a nice little addition. I don't know how much. It says it's $15 in the book. It's not necessary if you're on a budget that you have to have this book. And an interesting thing with Logic of English is that they actually encourage you teaching cursive first. And I guess like how the brain works, that they can continue writing instead of breaking apart like a manuscript. I didn't really think she was going to be, I don't think her brain worked at that, so you can actually buy the manuscript workbook, and it goes through handwriting. Now we don't always do the handwriting. Let me see if I can find a good one. And it has different strokes that you learn, but I've not been hardcore making Amelia do them. It has like, you practice, we talked about phonogram M, she practiced M. It has games on here which are fun, like phonogram bingo that she calls out. They're all in color, they're actually perforated. This one was talking about learning the phonograms at the end of the word. So it was dress, she had to figure out that dress, the end of the word was S. Or ship, which would be the P. So, and it has this curriculum was very good at that. We spent several lessons on, part of lessons on, I would sound out words. And like, ba, a, t. And Amelia would have to listen to that, and she'd have to tell me bat. Or they did it like interactive, where I would say, r, n. And Amelia would have to listen to it, and then she would start running because she would hear it. And so it helped. Now when she's starting to sound out words, she's hearing what she's saying, and she's had practice to put the blends back together. I think that has been a very neat part of that program. We really liked. So it introduces a phonogram at a time, and you go through it. So it's, if your kid doesn't know, letters and letter sounds, it's perfect for that. But what we've gotten to now is that we're almost getting to the end of this, is that it has gone from not reading a lot of words into reading 5-letter words. And so Amelia's kind of really, we're starting to get struggle where she can do it. She is just really needed a lot of help to do it. Like we were reading stomp and blend. And so it just started getting really fast for her. And so I really wish she have a little more fluency on shorter words probably before we really get to those harder sounds. But they have, and the neat thing with this is that they make little readers. And so they have it set up to where you print these, you pull them out from the student book, and then Amelia had to cut out a picture. She had to figure out what that said, tag, find the picture, cut it out, and glue it. So it starts out tag, wig, cat. That was the beginning. This last one that she did was called dogs, cats, and rats. And so, cat and tent. And so these, it's very quickly into blending these 4-letter words on that. So we'll be finished with this here in a little bit. And then we actually have level B that I bought off someone was selling it on Facebook for a really good deal, so I bought it. This is actually, she was selling the cursive workbook, but we are not going to be, this is going to be our handwriting component. So we'll continue on with this. So level B, it says, it teaches phonetic awareness, 21 multi-letter phonograms, writing uppercase letters, 8 spelling rules, 3 silent final E rules, and 174 high frequency words. So we'll keep going with this. Like it said, it has spelling, so each lesson it'll have you, and they sell like a whiteboard on the program. We didn't buy it, but I'll say a word and Amelia has to sound it out in her head and write it. And so like she was doing, you know, cat, dad, those easy ones, but like she was doing quilt, learning the qua phonogram, the QU, and so it's been a neat program. But like I said, we've kind of are struggling with this, and so I felt like we need to rewind a little bit to get her fluency up a little bit. So I, in a moment of, I don't know what, found All About Reading, level 1, 2. There's several videos about All About Reading that you can find. You know, we did the pre-reading level. So All About Reading is very similar to Logic of English, but for All About Reading does only phonics. It doesn't have handwriting, it does not have a spelling component. It has its own spelling curriculum. But All About Reading kind of goes a little bit quicker at the beginning. It teaches several phonograms in each lesson, and I don't know, and it teaches blending, and I feel like Logic of English was better at teaching blending than doing this. So right now we are, and my kids are around, so if they bust in or you can hear them, we apologize. So right now, like I said, we're in lesson 31 of this, and I feel like of Logic of English, so we are busting out All About Reading to give her a little extra boost in her fluency on the smaller words. All About Reading is neat is that they use the letter tiles. I have the board set up here. So you get these letter tiles, you put them on a magnetic board. Amelia likes playing with this. They're, you know, just with the magnet that you stick on the back. It's a nice little neat manipulative to do with it that she enjoys, and it's a little something different with that. So we are only on we finished 7 lessons in this. In the first level A, there are 53 lessons, and this is probably like a year program for most like kindergartners. And it talks about like each lesson shouldn't be completed in one day. So with All About Reading, you get this. One thing I like about this program, you get the learning activity book. But so far, all of this stuff has not been conceivable. I've just been using them and saving them and put them into a binder so we can use them with my other kids, whereas the Logic of English, the workbook, was consumable because it was writing. So you get the activity book. The big thing with these is they have these warm-up sheets, these like learning sheets that you do to practice, but they don't necessarily have, I wish it was a little more creative. These like more warm-up sheets. They're a little dry into learning. All About Reading has these hardbound books. There's 3 of them that you get in the set, and so they're nice. They're cute pictures. We just read this book last night, this jam book. But they're black and white pictures, which is neat. But sometimes we were reading this book last night and Amelia was looking at the picture instead of reading the words and just guessing. So there is that. It comes with, like in the pre-read, it comes with cards. so it has word cards, so it's sometimes kind of nice to have the flashcards with it. And you have it, and it's set up to where, let me pull it down. They have phonograms. Let me get this to focus. Phonogram cards to review, phonogram cards mastered, and so you can see that each lesson you're supposed to what you have on the review stack and what you have in the master, and so you have all these word cards. We're at the end. Maybe a little longer, she'll read King. So if you want more information about that, there's lots of videos on that. Like I said, All About Reading has a separate spelling curriculum, and I had a gift card, and so I thought it was like $20 because I had the cards I had the tiles and all that already. I have not really looked at this that well. They say that you're supposed to do All About Spelling after you finish All About Reading. So we'll just see if we kind of what we want to do this year. I think I'm still probably doing a blend of both curriculums, and so if I want to do a separate spelling curriculum, we have that, which it uses the letter tiles. It has cards that you put into your stack, into your thing that you have already. So we're just going to play it by ear. I figure, you know, there's no one-stop shop into how you teach your child to read. We're going to utilize our Usborne Start to Read packs. I sell Usborne, like I said, to get the discount. These are really nice, and if you haven't looked at this set, they're really nice and colorful. The neat thing with this, like the first book is called Pirate Pat, and you do this, it has a section that the parent reads and it has a section that the kids read, so they can participate in the story. By the end of the books, let's see, Bad Jack Fox, their section is a lot bigger of what they're reading. And moving on, so we like this. So far we've only done, there's 4 sections. There's 8 books total, 2 books for each little level, and so right now we've only done the first ones. I think she'll be getting close to do I Can Mop a Deck. I think she's almost could probably do that on the beginning there. So like I said, that's on Usborne. All right, so for the rest of our language arts curriculum we're doing this year, we're going to be doing First Language Lessons for the Well-Trained Mind, Level 1. It's by Jessie Weiss. It's part of the Well-Trained Mind curriculum. It's a grammar curriculum that's done mostly oral, so we're actually going to include this into our morning time with my son, who's the pre-K. Not that I anticipate him fully participating. I just figure it can't hurt for him to be exposed to something. So look through this some. It starts out with learning about, there's 100 lessons, so you can kind of see how you want to divide that up amongst your year. But the first lesson just talks about proper nouns, and I think there's several lessons on proper nouns. It has poems to memorize, pictures. So like the first lesson talks about a noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or idea. So it just talks about different types of nouns. Highly recommended. So I thought this would be an easy, I think it's going to take, 10 minutes to get through this. For our actual, we're also going to be doing, this is called Writing with Ease. This is also by the Well-Trained Mind. This is by Susan Weisbeyer. Level 1. It comes, you can buy this on each level workbook, or you can buy this as a book and you kind of create your curriculum as you want. Now I have already, comes with the teacher manuscript, and then it has the teacher workbooks, and I've already removed the teacher worksheets. I'm going to take it to Staples and get it bound, so I have it already here. I just haven't gotten there to do that yet. And I'm probably going to bound the teacher workbook too, so it'll be, let's see. So I'll show you. this curriculum is neat in that it chooses, kind of uses language from reading selections. So it has a whole long list here of 36 weeks of reading selections. Not that you have to incorporate these books into the curriculum, but it also has a good thing of what would be appropriate reading books at this age. So the first week it talks about Little House on the Prairie. So the first week, it's set for 4 days a week. There's copy work each day. There's narration that you're doing, and so it's not like she won't be writing this every day. So let me show you. The first week they have a little bit of copy work, and so they have it set up that you read a little selection from the book that they have, and then they can work on their copy work, and it has it set up by your kids' abilities. So this one has There Were No Roads, or they could copyright the deer and the rabbits would be shy and swept. Amelia's going to be doing the shorter sentence because that'll probably take her a few minutes to do. And then it has, you read a small passage from the book, and it has questions. So it has more literature comprehension questions, copy work, like a focus on beginning capitals and ending periods, just good sentence structure that she'll get mostly from listening and some copy work exercises. Thought this would be a neat addition to our curriculum. And then let me get this back up here. We are going to be doing Write Shop Primary Book A. This is set up to do, I think it's set up to do each unit in 3 weeks, and like so I think there's 8 sections in each unit, and so it's set up to do 3, and 2 days a week. This is actually a kindergarten level books that we're going to do, and this focus is on just creative writing. So I think the first section is on pets, so you talk about complete sentences, and so I'll be most likely writing this out for her, but just things to have her think creatively. So it comes, if you buy this set, you need the teacher workbook, and then the activity pack just has a few, fun things that you can do on lesson 2. It talks about my favorite things. So just creative things. I don't know if you need this. This was like $5, so you have to have this, but you obviously need the teacher workbook. I'll show you a little bit in the book. So it has the, if you are doing, this is the 3-week lesson plan, which is what we're doing, how it goes through 3 weeks. It also has a setup that you can do it in 2 weeks, or if you're trying to go through quickly because your child is a little older, you can do it in 1 week and to get through other books. So you can get through 3 books in a year. The first lesson. So the theme is animals. Has things that you would need to do it. So it has like a focus, like let's write a title for today's writing time. We'll call it Our Pets. How many pets do we have? And your child could say 2. And then you're going to say, let's say that as a complete sentence. We have 2 pets. And it goes through questions that you can ask, and then you're going to write down their answers into like a story. We have 2 pets. We have a goldfish. We like our pets. So it's a guided writing practice. There's several of those for each section. And so it's just creative things. It shouldn't take, there is the worksheet that you have that you buy. Shouldn't take us too long each day. So we'll do this 3 days a week. The other writing program is set up to be 4 days a week. And then we'll do grammar about 2 to 3 times a week. All right, so that is my jumbled thoughts. That what we're doing for her, this will be you know, the math and the language arts is going to be the main things we're going to focus on. And if we, you know, get behind in the other subjects, we're going to call it a win, because I really want, you know, in kindergarten and first grade, you should be learning to read and you should be learning math. So those are main things I'm focused on. I'm just going to just kind of pepper this into our other things. And so I'm hoping that we can have an enriching year. I've kind of calculated out how much we should spend on all of this, and hopefully it'll be about an hour a day on if we have to do a whole day of all of the curriculum, which you have to think in school how much time they're there for 8 hours and they get a 15-minute recess. And so I think I've calculated out for everything that should take us like 2 to 3 hours a day to do all of our curriculum, and that will leave us plenty of time to do fun things. And we also are only doing school 4 days a week, because she goes to a co-op on Tuesdays, and she'll be going to that. She'll take 6 classes there, so she'll be there all day. So next up, I still have to do our social studies curriculum that we're going to do, which I'm still kind of piecing a little bit together, but that's going to be a really fun year. And then I have some art and a little more logic things that we're doing from Timberdoodle that I'll show a video on that. So lots more fun things to be included. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if you heard a lot of background noise. I kind of realized that you can't make YouTube videos while you have 3 kids around, because obviously. So hopefully it's not too confusing. If you have any questions, make sure you comment below, and please subscribe so you can see more videos. Thanks.